Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com. Monday, April 17, 2023, here with today's NRFI and YRFI video. Of course, NRFI stands for no runs in the first inning. Some sports books call it under half a run in the first inning. And the YRFI, yes runs in the first inning. Some books call it over half a run in the first inning. Any way that you slice it, 6 outs are recorded, no runs are scored. A NRFI is a winner. 6 outs are recorded and there is at least 1 run on the board. Your YRFI is declared a winner. It is a very fast way to bet on baseball, and what makes it so popular, of course, on this show every day, we use our betting tools at sportschatplace.com to give out the NRFIs and the YRFIs. Of course, the betting tools require a pretty good amount of data to work with, so we're kind of working our way through that. We've had some really good days. We've had some tough days, but we just keep going forward, and as always, we're always 100% transparent here at Pickdawgz. It is what it is, and we will continue to roll on. And we always know a heater is sitting right around the corner. Last week we had a nice heater. We had a couple days that weren't so great, and that's all part of sports betting. As long as you live to fight another day, we know at Pickdawgz we've been doing this long enough. Man, those heaters, they come often, and we will be sitting on it. Of course, the best way to make money betting on sports, shop the lines. And I know we sell picks at Pickdawgz.com, but we also have sportsbook advertisements. These basically same as like refer a friend bonus type thing. So if you use our bonus codes, we have great bonuses for all the different sports books. It's a great way to support us without having to buy anything. If you're not shopping lines, well, you can't make money betting sports. It really is that simple. People that say that they do it without shopping lines, well, they're not being so honest. Let's take a look at their actual bankrolls, because in order to make money without shopping lines, you need to win 110 extra games. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. Here's a $100 better with a 10-cent line differential based on 3 bets a day. Comes to $10,950 by just not shopping lines. So basically 110 bets. Same thing if you're a $20 better, it doesn't really matter. Same thing, it's 110 bets extra that you need to win. If you're betting 3 $20 bets a day, same thing. It's 110 extra games a year. Any way you slice it, that you have to win. I'd rather shop lines. I like my chances a lot better shopping lines than I do winning 110 extra games. It's hard enough to win. I'd rather collect those winnings on those 110 extra games. I'd rather you guys collect those winnings as well. But anyways, let's take a look at yesterday's action. Not our best day once again, man. We got to get these NRFIs rolling, but our first one yesterday was Tampa Bay, Toronto. So yes, runs in the first inning. That did happen. So that was a winner. And then we had another in the Angels, Red Sox. That one was a NRFI as well. So we hit that one too. And then let's see, went to the next one. White Sox, Orioles, and the White Sox scored 4 runs in the first inning before losing that game. Then the Braves and the Royals were scoreless in the first inning in that one. The A's and the Mets. The A's actually, I think, let me see. We'll check it. Check our data. It was the Mets that scored right out of the gate in that one. Cubs and the Dodgers nailed our dog of the day, and we also nailed our NRFI yesterday on that game. And then in the Brewers and the Padres, only 1 run scored in that game. It came in the second inning. So our YRFI, no good. So about 500, a little worse than 500, but around that there. And, well, we're sitting on a heater. We know that. We've done it a million times here at Pickdawgz. So we just live to fight another day. But we want to, of course, do better than that. Last week at one point, we had won 10 in a row. So let's see if we can beat that 10 in a row, which is our longest streak so far of the season. Today, we've got 11 picks starting early. So let's get right into it. Pick number 1, we're going to take the Red Sox and the Angels. We're going to take yes runs in the first inning in this one. We've got Shohei Ohtani going for the Angels, and the Red Sox in this one, they counter with Brian Bello. Bello is certainly a very hittable pitcher. Last year, 11 starts, he was 2-8 with a 4.71 ERA. We have not seen Bello yet this season, but he's called in for this spot start. Of course, 11 a.m. Eastern time start in this Red Sox-Angels game. The reason they start this game at 11 o'clock, it's Patriots Day in Boston. This way, the elite runners for the Boston Marathon have already gone through Kenmore Square, which is about the 26-mile marker for the Boston Marathon, but the bulk of the runners after the Red Sox game is over are coming through Kenmore Square, the big throngs of runners. And this way, the crowd coming out of the Red Sox game is there to cheer the runners on. It's a very special scene. I lived in Boston for about 5 or 6 years, and it was always a great day on Patriots Day. So if you're in Boston, going to the game, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourselves on Marathon Day is what we used to call it. It's also Patriots Day, and of course, day where we now remember the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing. But I think, well, that's all been said and done. But anyways, let's go to our next one. And this one, the Rays taking on the Reds. This one, Hunter Green on the mound for the Reds. This guy is the new Luis Castillo for the Reds. Really, that is what he is. He puts together fantastic numbers in the number one spot for the Reds, and then sees very little dividends of that in his win-loss record. We saw Luis Castillo be that guy in Cincinnati for years. Take 1-2 run games or less deep into the game, only to either get pinned with a loss without giving up many runs at all, or getting no decisions, kind of like DeGrom a few years ago in New York. But the thing is that the new guy for that in Cincinnati, with Castillo gone to Seattle, has been Hunter Green. Meanwhile, Beeks getting the start here for the Rays. That means it is a bullpen game. And, well, he only has to go one inning, so he's going to leave it all out on the field. We like the NRFI in the Reds versus Rays. The next game we're going to go to is in Miami. Yes runs in the first inning. The Giants had the day off on Sunday, unplanned. The game was rained out in Detroit. Logan Webb, who was the starter for Sunday, will now be moved to Monday. And he has not had a great start to the season. He's up against Jesus Luzardo, who's been lights out for the Marlins. You guys who watch our morning live show know I've loved Luzardo for quite some time. So, excited to see him pitch today. But at the same time, I expect to see runs in the first inning. We'll take the YRFI at plus 118 odds in the Marlins versus Giants. Our next game we're going to head to the south side of Chicago, where Zach Wheeler against Lance Lynn. Two power pitchers. Wheeler, generally sort of like Castillo, right? And Hunter Green. He doesn't give up a lot, but when he does, he always pays the price. Lance Lynn giving up home runs at an alarming rate this season, but we know he's a bulldog, and he's more of a guy that lets guys on base and fights them off. I think that he holds them at bay. At the White Sox, they haven't been stringing together wins. They haven't been stringing together losses. So after yesterday's really bad loss against the Orioles, where they blew a 4-run lead, I expect them to at least battle early. It's not the White Sox starting rotation that's been the problem. It is the bullpen. And the same thing for the Phillies. And, of course, the bats just swinging and missing a bunch. They got 9 runs out of their system yesterday in the first inning. I don't expect to see it again today. I'm going to take the NRFI in the White Sox against the Phillies. Our next matchup, we're going to take the NRFI in the Blue Jays versus Astros. This one, Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Jays. Most people that have seen me on the live shows or on the videos over the years know I've never been a big Gausman fan, not since he was in Baltimore or anywhere else. And meanwhile, on the other side, Christian Javier off to a really bad start, especially considering the expectations were a little bit higher after what we had seen last year from him against teams like the New York Yankees. I think Javier has a better high end. I think that Gausman, he probably can last at least an inning here. This one makes a lot of sense. The Astros have really been under kings over the last 2 years. So starting it off with a NRFI makes sense. We'll take the NRFI in the Blue Jays Astros. Our next pick, we're going to take yes runs first inning in the Texas Rangers versus Kansas City Royals. Jacob deGrom getting the ball here for the Rangers, and the expectations of this guy, because of the salary and because what we know what he can do when he's healthy, I mean, are through the absolute roof. But on the other side of deGrom today in Texas is Jordan Lyles, who pitched in Texas, but man, is he having a rough go of it in Kansas City, where he gets the ball today. 5.19 ERA coming into this one. He's only given up 2 home runs, but he's given up 10 earned runs, 11 runs total, 17.3 innings, and Lyles just looks a little off right now. He's 0-2 to season. I don't put a lot into starting pitcher wins and loss records, but generally I'm a game watcher, and I have to say Lyles have no confidence in him whatsoever. I think the Rangers get to him. I'll take the YRFI in the Rangers versus Royals matchup in Kansas City. The next one, we're going to go to the game between the Tigers and the Guardians. Of course, the Tigers had yesterday off because of the rain. So Matthew Boyd moves into today's slot up against the Guardians, who, I tell you, against these American League Central teams, really know how to handle themselves. They've traditionally played the American League Central very, very tough. We saw the Guardians give up runs yesterday to the Nationals, and it was Shane Bieber on the mound. With Hunter Gaddis going, man, I got very little faith in the Guardians in this matchup. And Gaddis has been basically batting practice, and the Tigers, with that day off, chomping at the bit to get their cuts in. I expect to see runs in the first inning. Could come from both sides in this one. I like the YRFI in the Guardians versus Tigers game. Our next game, we're going to go to the game between the Mariners taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. And this one is interesting. We've got Chris Flexen on the mound for the Mariners and Corbin Burnes on the mound for the Brewers. Flexen started the season pretty strong in his first few outings. You have to remember, he was not in the starting rotation when the season started. Robbie Ray was injured, and Flexen was moved into the starting rotation. Corbin Burnes getting the ball here for the Brewers. He started the season terribly, looked really bad in spring training, looked really bad in his first 2 outings, but last outing, he looked really, really good. I said it yesterday, I've said it the day before, and I'll continue to say it. The top end of that Seattle Mariners lineup is absolutely stacked. We know the Brewers, well, they can get to a guy like Flexen, and after just 1 run in their game yesterday, they're probably chomping at the bit to show that they're a little bit better than that at the plate. Probably a few guys there trying to prove themselves after the poor performance yesterday. It's still a win nonetheless for them, but still, I think most of these guys, they strike out or they, don't get the hit in the clutch situation. It lives with them. I know it does, but we'll take the yes runs first inning in the Mariners versus Brewers game. Our next game, we're going to take the NRFI in the Padres versus Braves game. Max Fried back on the hill for the Braves. Little stint on the injured list up against Ryan Weathers, who, pitched in relief for a good portion of his career. So early in the game, you have to figure is when you're going to see Weathers' best stuff. And Max Fried, generally, don't know, man. He's generally not a good first half of the season type guy. But the Braves know they were roughed up at home by the San Diego Padres. He's going to probably come out here swinging. But my guess is that's probably not going to happen until a little bit into the game. I'll take the no runs first inning in the Padres-Braves. The next one up is the A's up against the Chicago Cubs. Those of you that watch my Dog of the Day video, the shorts that I do on YouTube every day, we cashed a over 2-1 winner on the Chicago Cubs yesterday against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh man, that one was straight money. And let's see in this one if we can cash money in this one, as the Oakland A's, send out Mueller on the mound. He's been one of their better pitchers. Wisniewski has been battinged up a little bit here for the Cubs. He's been battered, but the A's haven't generally been fast starters. In fact, they haven't started at all. They're just 1-9 in their last 10 games. They only have 3 wins on the entire season. I expect to not see any runs in the first inning of this game. We'll take the NRFI. And our last pick for today's show, 11 picks on today's show, we're going to take the yes runs first inning in the Mets versus Dodgers. The Mets, 7 in a row, have hit the YRFI as dogs against the National League West. Dustin May on the mound here for the Dodgers. David Peterson for the Mets. Peterson is a Forrest Gump type pitcher. That's what I call them. The guys, it's like a box of chocolates. You're never quite sure what you're going to get. And then with Dustin May, this guy has great top end stuff, man. And when he's on his game, he is as good as any pitcher in baseball. But at the same time, he was dinged up coming into the year. And we've seen a little bit of regression already since that first game. Each game, he's gotten a little bit worse. I think either of these guys could get touched early. We'll take the yes runs first inning in the Mets-Dodgers game. So a lot of picks on today's show. We'll recap everything that we've gone over here on the show. So let's not waste any more time and let's get right back into it. First of all, shop those lines. Get the best lines available. If you're not shopping lines and you're giving away 10 cents a game, and I know it doesn't look like much, and you're like, it's not a big deal, whatever. I'll just bet it at this book. I'm familiar with it or whatever. You need to win 110 extra games then every year. If you're not willing to just bet it at a different book and get the best line available, do a tiny bit of work, opening up a different app and doing it that way, you're giving away 110 bets a year. You start out 0 and 110 to start. Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. Most bettors, they don't even understand the concept. I'm trying to explain it to you. Hopefully it worked. If you have a question about it, put it in the comments. By all means, we'll go over it bet by bet and look how the numbers I'm mentioning to you are at the low end of things. But anyways, let's get to the high end of things. Let's see if we can grab some winners today in Major League Baseball action. We took the yes runs first inning on Patriots Day at Fenway. We took the no runs first inning in the Rays against the Reds. We took yes runs first inning, Giants Marlins. We took no runs first inning, White Sox Phillies. We took no runs first inning. This is the Toronto Blue Jays facing the Houston Astros. We took the yes runs first inning, Texas Rangers visiting the Kansas City Royals. We took the yes runs first inning. It's the Cleveland Guardians visiting the Detroit Tigers. We took the yes runs first inning in the Seattle Mariners versus Milwaukee Brewers game. We took no runs first inning. It's the Padres hosting the Braves. We took the no runs first inning. It's the A's hosting the Chicago Cubs. And finally, we took yes runs first inning. It's the Mets visiting the Dodgers. There's today's NRFIs and YRFIs. Hopefully you make it a big winning day. Be sure to check out all of our picks at Pickdawgz.com. We got tons of videos every day. We got tons of premium picks. Use that discount code PICK. Get 15% off any premium pick purchases if that's your thing. If it's not your thing and you want to support what we do, don't ask for my Cash App. I don't want donations like that. Go to our website, sign up for a sportsbook, shop line, show me that you want to win. That's all I care about. We're here to make you win, and that's all. That is our sole purpose, is to beat the books. Let's smash the books together. This is Mitch. Let's make it a winning day.